maybe I've asked you this before. When you're laying down and you closing your eyes, you're still awake. What is something that you imagine? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, when we're like sitting somewhere, we close our eyes, or there's a moment we're not doing anything, we're just thinking of like situations and ideas in the future. Not talking about the past, the future.
Right.
When you think about the future, when you are in your Zen moment or whatever, what is a vision that keeps recurring time and time again?
Me not working anymore.
Really?
All I do is think about work, dude. Whether it's a Pallet Dudes, whether it's the podcast, the business broker stuff. All I think about right now is freaking work, bro. And I keep telling Alexa, I'm just tired, dude. I feel like I'm burning myself out.
So you keep thinking about not working. Interesting. And this happens time and time again. Like when you close your eyes, you're just like, so what do you imagine then?
What I mean by not working is like not doing anything, still doing something.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, you just.
But no.
You want to just veg out in front of a beach?
Yes, sir. No, bro. Like just like I don't feel when we do the podcast, I don't feel like it's work. I feel like it's a hobby, right? And I feel like I would love to do that for a living. But Pallet Dudes, it's a grind, bro. It's a grind to find good sources. It's a grind to find good customers. And I think that's just with any business in the beginning, there's way more bad customers than there are good customers, right? And some people, that's their business model, like Walmart. They thrive on bad customers because how cheap everything is at Walmart, right?
Yeah.
Target, they thrive on good customers because they want things that are quality and that look nice in terms of like presentation. If you go to Target and Walmart, you see completely different, right? Or do you feel like it's the same thing?
Yeah. Target's definitely better. I see a lot more possible wives there for myself.
Better demographic.
Yes.
Cleaner.
It's
cleaner. Less weirdos.
I see more white people at Target. That's true. That's a great observation.
But that's the point. They're both extremely successful.
Which doesn't mean that I'm going to marry a white woman, by the way. Just I just want to clarify.
Are white people cleaners? Is that what you're telling me?
No. I mean, cleaner? I don't know. They can be sometimes. Yeah, go on.
Right.
I cut you off.
The point is like between like a Walmart and Target, there's a presentation. And Walmart, they thrive off of bad customers, and Target thrives off of like cleaner cut customers, right? And unfortunately, I think in the beginning, Target,
they're just broke.
Who?
The Walmart customers.
Yeah, but they thrive off of these brokies.
Yes.
Right?
I am still.
Point is, they thrive off of it, but most businesses, I think, start off like the Walmart, but they just never they never climb through it. It's way easier to get bad customers than good customers.
So you're saying Pallet Dudes is Walmart right now?
Pallet Dudes, it's a grind, bro.
Yeah.
It is not easy, man.
That's what, so you have a bunch of bad customers.
Yeah, because the thing is, where I market, right? I market on OfferUp, I market on Facebook Marketplace. What does that mean? People go on these two websites to find good deals. They don't go on to spend $1,000. Exactly.
Luxurious.
They want
expensive.
It's funny, bro. Everybody on these apps, they want the expensive stuff. The expensive stuff, I say, probably gets about 50-50 as many inquiries than the super cheap stuff. But everybody wants this high quality stuff for way cheaper. And that to me is a bad customer because it's like they care about the quality, but they care about the quality, but it's not worth the expensive price to them. So I have to resort to cutting my costs down, cutting into my profit margin, or trying to negotiate, trying to find like a pain point to present to them so it's worth the extra dollar for them.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel fulfilled from the work you do for Pallet Dudes?
I think it's more fulfilling than what I've done in the past.
It is more fulfilling.
Yes.
Okay, so right before you go to sleep, you're closing down your eyes. Do you feel pressure, or do you feel a relief that the day's ended, I'm gonna get some rest tomorrow, the grind starts again?
No, I never feel relief.
You never feel relief when you sleep?
And I think that's a good thing for me. I think that's
okay.
Yeah.
Expand, yeah.
So it's a good thing for me because before, when I had a job, I used to feel relief when it was a Friday because I didn't enjoy that job. But sorry, let me rephrase it. Not that I didn't enjoy the job, but I felt relief because I knew there was a break coming. Saturday, Sunday's a break. But with Pallet Dudes, I have no break. So there's no time for relief. Do you get what I'm saying? So I have to find the joy in the day-to-day.
But you enjoy the job itself, right? Pallet Dudes?
Pallet Dudes, yeah.
So you do feel, you said you feel more fulfilled doing Pallet Dudes.
Yeah, I feel, but the reality is, man, I feel fulfilled because I'm working for myself. I'm making money for myself. It's not for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not like millions of dollars, right? But I feel like this is on me. It's on my shoulders. Somebody else isn't talking into my ear. I get to control my day. If I want, I can take a month and go travel. I can go do stuff, right? I have flexibility.
But I'm sure you feel good when like customers buy stuff from you, or if they're really looking for something and you give them a good deal. Like that gives you fulfillment.
I think what's fulfilling is I'm able to give people quality products for cheap. I think that's a cool thing.
So just the hustle of entrepreneurship gives you fulfillment. It's not necessarily the products you provide.
Exactly. It's not because think about it. I do. Paladin's my baby because it's the first thing that's worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. But I mean, I'm interested in doing this Fresh and Fit smoothie trailer, right? It's not the product, the mission for this Fresh and Fit smoothie. That's what's interesting to me. Not the smoothie, but like the idea of giving people a healthy lifestyle choice.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting to me. The podcast. It's a business. In reality, this is going to be a business. And the interesting to me is I enjoy talking to people and what can come out of this. That's cool to me.
Actually, I want to make this an NGO. I want to make it
NGO?
a nonprofit.
Fine. They end up making a lot more money than for profit. So good.
No
Let's
money
do it.
funneling. I want to make this an NGO that supports up and coming comedians in Pakistan.
In Pakistan, there's gonna be zero guests.
Yes.
Zero guests.
No. What do you mean guests? There'll be so many kids that'll sacrifice their lives for comedy in Pakistan, I'm sure.
Not a single one, buddy.
No, I think it'll grow there eventually.
Eventually, it will.
So, when you lay down, you're
Yeah.
thinking about not working.
Not
the regular mundane of the day. I messed up that word, but
No,
yeah.
mundanity. The work is equivalent to the grind to me. So like Pallet Dudes
So then, what do you look forward to?
every day.
Yeah,
The future, bro.
where you're not working.
Where I'm not grinding, bro. Right now, if you were to look into my brain, it's like it just constant anxiety, dude.
But the grind never stops ever.
No, but there's a time where I'll have some freedom. There's a time where Pallet Dudes, and I think it's coming, right? There's a time, this lease done in a year, I'm going to grow out of this, right?
Mhm.
And when that happens, I'll have employees. And when I get employees, I'm not going to have to be doing the day-to-day grind.
So that's what it is. You're as somebody who just started a business recently.
Yeah.
What, about 2 years?
Two
right?
and a half years, yeah.
2.5 years. You're having to do everything by yourself. So you're the laborer. You're the physical guy lifting things up. You're everything.
I
You're
have
the
to be the brains and
salesperson.
the brawn.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're doing. I get it. So you enjoy doing the brains, but you don't enjoy the labor work.
Yeah.
The reaching out to people, the sales aspect of it in certain respects.
Exactly.
You'd rather just be a CEO, manage people, think long-term strategy, make
Of
important
course.
decisions.
And also time flexibility to reach into like the business broker stuff. I enjoy that. I enjoy talking to high-level people, like speaking to doctors, speaking to CEOs or VCs. I feel like there's a place for me there.
So you don't feel like you have a work-life balance right now?
Work-life balance. I don't like to think of it like that. I just like to think of it just I got to do what I got to do.
So
Right now.
your life is not in equilibrium right now.
No.
Okay, which is fine. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
that's
a
just what
bad
it is.
thing.
Yeah.
I would actually argue to get somewhere in life, your life cannot be at an equilibrium
agree
the
with you.
entire time.
Yeah.
You can't have a balance in everything. You got to sacrifice.
The first 5-10 years of starting something, there is no balance.
So you are sacrificing some things right now.
Yeah, bro, my sanity, dude. I haven't, dude. I love to surf. I love to go mountain bike. I haven't done any of this, bro, in a year and a half now.
So you've sacrificed all your hobbies, basically.
Everything,
Even working out legs day.
even working out, right now.
Yeah.
Like
You don't have time to work out at all.
I'm working out like twice a week right now, dude.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
You're going to
dude.
die, man.
And not necessarily because
You're going to die, dude.
I'm not definitely not gonna die.
You're going to die at that rate.
Something I do when I work out though
Yeah.
is I'll work out more is if I'm seeing something physically like decline in my body, like That's what I will do.
That's such a retarded
It's true.
response. So you tell me when you go in the shower, you look at yourself, you're like, damn, bro, the abs are kind of lacking. I want
Yeah.
abs.
100%.
It's all aesthetically.
Right now it's aesthetic.
What about
yeah.
if you feel weak in a certain body part?
If I start to feel like sluggish, yeah, I'll work out. If I start to feel sluggish or the bottom two abs aren't showing as much,
Then
that's
you,
when I'm jumping back in. Honestly, God bless, bro. Because if I was in my 30s doing this, oh, dude, there's no way I can go 2 weeks without my abs like showing still. If I don't work out for 2 weeks, like my late 30s, oh, dude, I'm toast. Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, absolutely. Because
So right now,
metabolism,
yeah,
it's good
metabolism
right
slows
now.
down. So it's a good thing that's happening now where I'm actually grinding, so I don't have to worry about that as much.
As you will later.
Yeah.
So there's been times where you just didn't work out for weeks.
Yes,
Interesting.
100%.
That's wow. That's good. If a person in their 20s is sacrificing the things that they really enjoy and love, that means they're aspiring towards something that they want to chase and be at. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
What is something like, do you like, for me, like I have specific like things I think about. Do you think about those things, or you just think about like laying down on the beach or just not having to
What
wake
do you
up?
think about?
I'm asking you first. I'll talk about mine, but let's.
Certain things that I think about?
Yeah, do you think about certain things, or you don't have to? Like Matt in 2030, right?
Yeah.
2035.
Like, do I have certain aspirations of what I want?
No, I'm just saying, like when you're laying down, right?
Yeah.
Like you're thinking about not working. So what does that not working entail? Like describe to me the place you're in. Like visualize. Put me in your shoes, like
I see.
in your future fantasy, which you're working towards reality.
Yeah.
You're trying to make your fantasy a reality,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I get what you're saying. Okay. What I visualize is pallet dudes, because I think this is the thing. It's working. I've described this in the past. I think I'm getting more and more to this conclusion. I don't want this to be the biggest liquidation business out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like a true, like there's some, I was talking to some sources this morning, and some of these guys,
what does that mean,
sources? Sorry, let's just say suppliers. I was talking to some suppliers this morning. Big suppliers, right? They do a lot more revenue than me, and the reason is because they sell in higher quantities. So they sell by truckloads, okay? Truckloads, it's a good business because it's more guaranteed. There's more money coming in. So if you sell, 5 truckloads a month, you've already made $5,000 that month.
Yeah.
But you've only done 5 truckloads. Does that make sense? 5 truckloads of inventory.
Right.
Versus me, I have to go through 60, 70 pallets per month. Right? To make more, a little more, but like for another 5,000, I have to go through 40 pallets a month to make
you do 2 truckloads a month.
Roughly.
Yeah.
This month was slower, but yeah, roughly 2 truckloads a month. And to do 40 pallets, which is like a truck and a half, I'll make that 5,000 that they're making in 5 truckloads. Does that make sense? That's a lot more time.
Just
a
the
lot more
volume
energy.
difference, yeah.
The difference is there's a lot more stress in truckload sales because you're constantly keeping up. You're constantly dealing with customers wanting more and having to get more inventory in. So it's like the game is different. The game is for them, truckload sales, push it out, push inventory, fast. And fast is extremely exhausting, dude. It's extremely exhausting. Me, I can balance speed and I can balance quality. Right? I'm able to make those diversions, those shifts. Does that make sense? Because I'm selling, the speed for me is the pallets. When I sell pallets, I can move those fast. But the quality for me, or more money, I should say, is going to be the piece by piece items, like the bathtubs I sell, the flooring I sell, the tools I sell. So my point, I guess I don't know what I'm getting at here. My point in this is,
what are you trying to say?
My goal isn't to grow to one of these like major liquidation guys. Yeah, major liquidation guys. Make this bigger, a little bit bigger, double, triple the size here. Get a couple employees.
This is a means to an end.
This is a means to calm in my brain, I think.
But you say you don't feel calm at all. You feel anxiety.
Right now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like this,
eventually,
if I grow to the 2-3x, there will be a more calm because I don't have to worry about finances.
Okay.
Does that make more sense?
Yes.
That's what I mean by the grind. Like I want to get to a point where I don't have to worry about my finances, that is just flowing, so I can focus on things that are true interest to me. I can, live in a nice place, drive a nice car without having to fucking get to the warehouse, work 12 hours a day, move pallets, lift 300 pounds on my fucking back. This is all stuff I have to do, bro.
Yeah.
I do this shit every single day. You guys see the stuff where I ask you for help. When you guys aren't here, you guys help me once a month, do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When you guys aren't here, I'm doing that all by myself, bro.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, dude.
You gotta get your back checked out.
It happened, but point is, like, that's a sacrifice, right? Once I get to a point where I don't have to worry about all that, I can focus genuinely on the podcast, genuinely on the smoothie thing, growing the smoothie thing. Like, there's not so much pressure.
So because the business is still growing, you have this pressure of constantly being profitable every month. And
Yes.
getting rid of stuff that comes in. And
Yes.
keeps you up at night sometimes. And
A lot of times.
so I get it. So it's like because it's not, it's just one man army. You're a one man army. So you're doing everything. That makes sense. Okay. So I guess I have a better understanding of when you lay down.
Yeah,
when
when I lay
visualize, you're just like, I don't want to work.
I don't want to grind, bro. I don't want this constant
This
grind.
kind of grind. You
I don't want
want
this
to
kind of
grind,
grind.
but just not like everything included, all inclusive.
Exact, dude. We're doing so much things, bro. Like, I want something to work out, so like I don't have to put so much fucking pressure in a day.
But technically, Pal Dudes has been working out incredibly because you're making profit every month.
Yeah, but I think about things different. Yeah, maybe in numbers wise, like in terms of like statistics. Yeah, this has been amazing.
But you don't want to grow this business that much either way, right?
Yeah, I think like in the next 2 or 3, I think by next year, wherever I'm at, that's gonna be my cap. I think so. I don't know. Never know, right? But I think that's gonna be my cap.
Okay, and you feel like you're on track to that destination?
Yeah, I think I'm on track to that destination.
God willing. Okay, so that's
God
fine.
willing. God willing.
That's good then. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because there's at least a level of assurance and guarantee that this will happen as long as you keep putting in X amount of hours.
Yeah, I hope so, bro. Inventory is a very difficult thing right now. Inventory is very shitty, and like my business thrives on good inventory. So I mean, there's ebbs and flows.
Yeah, that's understandable because you don't know anytime you get a truckload, you don't know what it's gonna have.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
It's like a box of chocolate.
Yeah,
you never know
the
what
last
you're
2
gonna
truckloads
get.
have not been great, so it's like that makes me fearful. I've done 26 truckloads, I think now, and last 2 have been like I haven't felt good about them since the beginning.
26 truckloads.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't feel great about the last 2, and that gives me anxiety.
And that's
right?
out of your control. You can't control that.
Exactly, but that means that can affect my future.
How do you okay? There's a lot of elements in this business that you don't have control over.
Exactly.
So you just gotta deal with the apples you get.
And I thought I was thinking about this morning because the supplier told me, he was like, what did he say? He said the RFPs, request for proposals to these major retailers, has been shaken up this year. That's what he told me.
Why is that?
He says that every year. I asked him, I was like, why is that? Like, what's the root? And he said that every year they have RFPs. So new people come in, request for proposals from Target, Amazon, whatever, to become a direct contract holder supplier. And or the current contract holders go in and say, I don't want this specific warehouse. I'll keep these 2 warehouses. Meaning Amazon has tons of warehouses around the country, right? Say you have 10 warehouses that you pull truckloads from. Say 2 of them, not so great. You don't like them anymore. You want to give those up. So now there's 2 warehouses that are up for grabs for new people that want to be contract holders. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So RFP is shaken up, meaning people don't want their warehouses, so new people can come in and grab them. That's it. And so what that means is, okay, if you had a supplier, he now gave up his supply to somebody else. Now you got to go find somebody else to supply you. And you don't know who this person is. Because there's no list on the internet that says, hey, these 3 guys deal all Amazon contracts. These 4 guys deal all Target contracts. These 6 guys deal all Home Depot. There's no list. You have to go door knocking. You have to network. And it's like, so every year there's like this grind, this constant, where do I find my supply? Where do I find my supply? Where do I find my supply? And it's tough.
So the people getting the truckloads are having a hard time finding the supply.
Well,
kind of, or
just the quality of it coming on to right now, it's tough and it's more expensive.
Think Donald Trump is to blame for some of this stuff?
I was asked that the other day. by a customer.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know the
Because
answer.
tariffs?
That's what people are saying. I don't know if that's the answer. I think part of it is the answer because
Yeah, it makes sense.
what these retailers are doing is, so during the pandemic, there was a lot of issues in supply chain on the port, right? We saw in Long Beach port, we saw fucking 50, 100, 200 ships waiting to get docked.
Yeah.
All these trucks have billions in inventory. Each truck, each ship has billions in inventory waiting. And so what these people were doing, these Targets, Home Depot, Amazon, what they were doing is they were ordering more than they needed because they were anticipating a 2-month hold.
Shortage, right? Yeah.
And so they ordered too much, realized, hey, this is too much. We actually don't have that many people wanting this. And so they would ship it to us. And that's good quality stuff because it's never been touched. And so during the pandemic...
You, the liquidation businesses. Right?
What?
That's what you mean.
No.
What did you mean by... Who's the you in this?
Me?
By us, yeah.
Yeah, shipped
like
to us to liquidate. Yeah,
liquidation
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were shipped the good quality stuff because it was a just in case model. That's what it's called, JIC, a just in case model.
Yeah.
So people were ordering too much.
We
just
talked about
in
this on
case.
the podcast 3 years ago.
3 years
just in
ago?
case, yeah.
Yeah, just in, you remember that?
Yeah.
So there's just in case
Supply
and just in time
chain.
model.
Yeah.
And so there's in business there's ebbs and flows to it. Sometimes they'll go to just in time. So I think what we're doing right now is they're doing a just in time model, meaning they have just enough inventory to supply the customers on the basis that they need it right now, right? So they're paying. It's the financial model is basically because if there's a 25% tariff, why do they want to pay 25% more money? Doesn't make sense. So what they'll end up doing is they'll go ahead and string this money along. Eventually, they're going to need the same amount of inventory, but they'll string the money along and push it back because they don't need to pay all that up front.
That makes
Does
sense.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I'm being cohesive.
I think that makes sense for the
Yeah.
most part. Yeah. So there's a lot of the nature of this business is it's unstable. You, as a person who receives these truckloads, don't know what you're going to get most of the time.
Yeah. You can make good money up front, but it's just you learn that.
I think the best scenario is just to be the guy who sells the truckload, right?
Best scenario is to be that guy, but it's a forever grind.
Like you said, you have to find the warehouses that want the stuff, and
you have to find the customers and continue to supply them every single day. And this is like a 7 days a week business. So even these guys, I mean, one of my suppliers, he lost his contract with Amazon. He was like, he had so many customers contacting him because he was like the guy for Amazon. And he didn't even care if I wanted a truckload or not. Like I was asking him questions. I asked him, this is in the very beginning when I didn't know how any of this worked. And these are very common questions for people getting in. It's like, okay, do you supply Amazon? His answer is yes. Okay, where is it based out of? I have a warehouse out in California. Am I able to visit? No. Am I able to see what's on? Or do you have pictures or videos of example of what's on the pallets? No. And then he won't text back. He won't even be like, are you still interested? Just no. And I'm like, well, how do I know there's stuff on these pallets? He says, you don't. And that's it. Like, he does not give a shit because he has so many people contacting him,
right.
And he's okay with just shipping. Boom.
So
boom,
then it makes
boom,
it easier for him,
moving.
no? Because he always has people interested. Right?
Not necessarily, bro, because now you're dealing with millions of dollars in inventory. And the thing is, if you're dealing with millions and millions of dollars in inventory and a few truckloads don't work out, that's $20,000, $30,000 that you just fucked up on. Me, if I fuck up on one product, that's what, $100, $200? It's a lot easier to eat that.
So you came across this business. I understand you started garage sale and, you know, you started...
pallet.
Yeah. So what made you want to do the warehouse? I never even asked you that, huh? Was that like a contract? You just needed money because you quit your job? That's pretty much it.
And I thought I enjoyed garage sales.
Yeah.
I just enjoyed the hustle and bustle of life and just doing that boom, 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 boom. The warehouse, I just figured I can make more money if I just get more inventory. And so warehouse was just natural.
Okay, I see. So it was the most reliable form of an income.
Correct.
At the time.
And control my time.
And you worked for yourself. You didn't have a boss.
So it's like, why not?
Why not
Go
take
for
the
it.
leap and start an actual business? And yeah,
Very low risk, right? Now I'm
Yeah.
at a point like I just continue what I'm doing, and at least like I'm moving. But at the end of it, if I don't hypothetically, if I don't even want to do this next year, right? I don't even want to do the warehouse next
you
year.
made money,
I
profit.
made money, and there's no risk. I now have a bunch of excess inventory. I'll just liquidate and make a little bit of profit, and I can move on. So right now it's low risk. But if you have millions and millions of dollars in inventory, you can't just up and leave. How are you gonna? You have 100,000 square feet of product. You're dealing 100,000 square feet of product. You're dealing $100,000 minimum a month in rent. In rent, your 3 years, 5-year lease goes by.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
That makes sense. So there's risk in every business, but this business tends the higher the growth, the more the risk.
Exactly.
It just gets which is true for every business naturally, but this is more.
But the
intensive.
cost isn't necessarily true for every business.
Right. The cost of expansion, yeah.
Because this is a very overhead heavy business because all the inventory you have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have, my point is, if you have hundreds of thousands of inventory in a 100,000 square foot building, okay, first of all, you need to try to get rid of this inventory. Your lease is up, let's think about it like this. This guy lost his contract, okay, which can happen. Amazon could do whatever the fuck they want once the contract's over next year, right?
Yeah.
Now you have 100,000 square foot
Of nothing.
warehouse of nothing or trash truckloads that you're buying from brokers because you can't figure out how to fulfill this inventory need. How are you fulfilling $100,000 a month in cost just in space?
Yeah.
That's tough.
No.
It's tough.
Yeah, especially because if people don't enjoy doing this, they're like, what am I doing? Because it's not the product that excites them, right? It's the opportunity to make money from it that excites them.
Exactly. It's an opportunity to make money.
That's tricky. Interesting.
Very
but
tricky.
for you, at the scale that you are, I think this has probably been the biggest life lesson for you, right? Of all the things you've
Yes.
done, this has probably taught you the most.
This has taught me how to not be green.
Right.
And dude, in the beginning when I was doing like the commercial real estate stuff, very green, dude. Like
Green meaning like just
new,
amateur.
just like amateur
yeah.
kid. Now, I think before when I would speak, like there's some maturity in me, but it's not like I knew what I was talking about. Now, since something worked for me, I have more confidence in my tone when I'm speaking to somebody.
So it's giving you confidence in yourself and your abilities.
And that's the only reason I think people are green. Not even because they don't know the information. It's just because they don't have confidence. Yeah, they feel imposter syndrome.
They're saying something, but internally they don't really believe it. They don't
Correct.
buy it themselves, and people can smell that.
Correct.
Which is the definition of being green
Yes.
and having an imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good point, man.
Yeah.
So, 2030, ideally, what does that look like for you 5 years from now?
I have a lake house, riding jet skis every day.
So that is something. So that's the ideal situation.
I would love to have a lake house. Yeah.
Okay, 2030. Like, but what would your day to day look like ideally? If I were to talk to the 2030 Matt, if I would just imagine you are the 2030 Matt. What's your day to day looking like?
2030 Matt, day to day. I have a few.
As a 30-year-old.
29-year-old actually, 2030.
Okay, 29-year-old. That's
Or
true.
if you want to say
No,
October 19th.
no. That's fine. 29-year-old. Yeah, because I'm October too.
Ideally, I have 2-3 good businesses, and I have managers, and I talk to my managers about the day to day. And then I'm also a business broker,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a few clients that I talk to every day.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great. So I'm managing my businesses at a high level, and I'm talking to clients about their needs and selling their business.
That's good. Okay. So then you're now, how many hours a day are you doing that in your ideal?
5
5 hours.
5 hours a day.
And the rest, what are you doing?
Rest of
24 hours in a day. Walk me through the entire day.
I think, I would love to continue doing the podcast. I'm
Mhm.
hoping podcast is not included in one of those 5 hours.
Yeah.
Working out.
Hoping the
hanging out with
podcast is
family.
past 1,056 subscribers.
But at that time, bro, God willing, that all happens. I'll invest money to get us views and to get us subs.
Okay, so the podcast will be, God willing, working, and then what are you
Yeah.
doing? Are you surfing the rest of the time?
No. Hanging out with family, working out.
Mm-hmm. Golf, maybe?
Maybe golfing once a week.
When was the last time you played golf?
A long time, bro. A long time.
Okay.
You knew I loved golf, right?
Yeah.
You
Unfortunately, you
sacrificed
did.
things, bro.
Yeah.
It's just that's what it is.
Maybe for the better golf.
Maybe I would like to mentor somebody.
Okay.
Um,
Like maybe. Do you ever think about like marriage by 2030? You
Yeah.
get married by 2030.
well, if I have kids,
Yeah.
gonna be. I mean, ideally,
You
right?
probably have like what, 4 kids by then?
No,
Or what?
bro, I'm not.
5s?
I like to have 2 kids. That's it, bro.
You get 2 sets of triplets, bro. That'd be awesome.
If I had triplets, that's done. One and done.
One and done?
Yeah, bro. If you have triplets, are you crazy, bro? Are you crazy? Yeah, man.
Interesting, man.
That's
That's very good. Okay, so 2030 lake house. You're working. You have the podcast. Not 5 hours. You're doing the client calls, managers. The rest, it's just hanging out with family, doing whatever. Podcast.
No,
Yeah.
not whatever, bro. What are you talking about? Working out?
Yeah, working out.
Podcast?
Okay. Yes.
Okay, podcast.
Yes.
Then it's like whether it's like picking kids up from school, going to like do.
So you are
Yeah.
thinking of, okay, that's good. So you're thinking of your life as a family man then.
Yeah,
in
of
2030
course.
as a father.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Still traveling 3 times a year.
3 times a year.
Yeah.
Solid. Okay.
It's not unrealistic things.
Not at all.
Yeah,
It's
these
not
are very
realistic at all.
realistic
That's
things.
very good that you have at least a plan, a destination where you would like to position yourself.
Yeah.
Very realistic goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's possible, man. God willing. Yeah.
God willing, bro.
Yeah, it's not like
I'm not shooting for the $100 million, you know. It'd be hopefully by 40, 50, but
I mentioned that because a lot of people in their 20s think they're going to be billionaires
Yeah,
and
it's
they're
not
going to be,
realistic.
you know, we just have these high aspirations and these goals, and it's just like at the end of your 20s you're like,
you know why you see
I never
that?
even started any of this.
Yeah. You know why
I'm-
you see that though?
Why?
You see people thinking they're gonna be worth tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. It's because all these dipshits that are trading these stocks are like, look how much I traded, or look how much my Amazon FBA did last month, or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, wow, you did 120K last month. Newsflash, what's your marketing budget? What's your inventory cost? Dude, these guys have such low margins. You'd be shitting bricks if you saw. They're probably making decent money. They're probably netting 10 grand a month.
Talking about stock traders? Who are you talking about?
Like FBA. Sorry, I'm specifically talking about FBA guys right now.
What are FBA guys for the
Amazon-
somebody listening in?
So FBA is an Amazon program where they ship product from their warehouse to your customer. So if I have an Amazon store, I sell Jordan sneakers, right? I have a bunch of Jordan sneakers in an Amazon warehouse, and as clients are ordering them, then Amazon's shipping them out. Amazon takes a cut. You have to market your product, or else how are people going to find it?
Right,
And you have to pay for your product,
right.
right? So all this is probably just the inventory cost is probably like 40 to 50% of that $120,000 they're doing a month. And then they probably have a marketing budget. No, let's split that actually. Let's just say it's 30% of their budget, okay?
Mhm.
Say 30%. They're probably going to have another 30, 40% just in marketing. So now what? You have 30% left?
So they're not thinking about the details. When people aspire towards certain things, they're not thinking about the details. They're thinking about the destination. They're not thinking about how they're going to get there.
Not necessarily. What I'm saying is people are saying all this stuff because they're seeing guys on Instagram saying their FBA business is doing this, or their online course business is doing this. But they're not thinking about online course business, by the way. That's like 80% marketing budget. So these guys are doing $100,000 a month in online courses. They're spending like $60,000 in marketing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Fucking A, brother. That's a lot of money.
yeah.
That's not light, dude. All of a sudden, your $100,000 goes to bust. You're still spending that $60K in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big cost.
Yeah.
So my point is, you see all these guys, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a millionaire by the end of 29, 30. But they don't know the ins because nobody tells them the ins on the internet.
Yeah, but generally, I was just talking about the 20s age demographic.
Yeah.
A lot of people do want to do business adventures, but I think people, because their prefrontal cortexes are not developed, we just think it's easier. We don't think about the details, in my opinion. Like we just think it'll happen because this guy did it, so why can't I do it? You know, which is a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think life just gives you a reality check.
Life gives you reality check your mid-20s.
Mid 20s, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really when it hits you.
Because when you're green, you maybe have imposter syndrome, but you still have like belief.
Delusion.
Yeah.
It's good to have delusions in some scenarios.
If you're able to continue that delusion throughout, that's when you're
I'm not
like,
homeless. So just
yeah, yeah.
The shelter is my family.
The shelter.
My FBAs.
The shelter thinks I'm funny.
My FBAs are my clothes. The roof over my head.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, well, I think, yeah, people...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. That's good that you have these aspirations and these very realistic goals. You're not shooting for yachts and, billions of dollars and vacationing in Venice every single month.
No.
Yeah.
Another thing I've also realized about, like, that type of rich, because that's a different level, right?
Mm-hmm.
That type of rich, they're oftentimes, bro, they're just not, like...
real people anymore.
They're not real. They're not good people anymore. They forget their roots.
Like mega wealth, like
mega
billions
wealth,
of dollars.
dude. It's like
anything over like what, 10 million or even $1 million, I would say.
Jeff Bezos is like 5'7", but if you see videos of him, he's constantly looking up. Like it's like he's still looking over people. Does that make sense?
I'm sure he has a complex.
Yeah, a major complex, brother. All these guys do though.
Yeah.
That's the point. I don't want that. I mean, God willing, I mean, if it happens, it happens. But yeah,
I think I honestly. You gotta find something, and again, I don't know much. I'm 24, but you gotta find something that actually helps people, and just stick with it and try to get better at it. Because in the long term, when you're dying, you're gonna be thinking about the lives of people that you've changed, not the checking account balances that you had. Some sick motherfucker like might be thinking about that stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, I had like a $950 million in my JP Morgan Chase account right now, but odds are it's really connection that you crave. And so when you are departing from the world, you're thinking about how many lives did you change. It doesn't have to be that many, it can just be a few, but if you did, you'll feel more fulfilled.
On your deathbed, that's what you're really thinking. Is that what
I think so.
I
yeah
agree.
So like
I think they all have a lot of regret too.
Yeah, in here they do, yeah, but which is fine to have regret, but that late it's obviously bad because it's over. Yeah.
But like Bill Gates, there's some interview out there where he talks about how he was living on his desk and this and that, and he said that I wish I spent more time with my kids.
Yeah,
I wish and the answer is the connection, right? That's what you said. You wish he had more connection to people.
And kids is huge because they look like you. They're literally your creation. That's the best product you'll ever make is your kid. That's nobody else can do that. Only you can do that.
Are directly affected by you. Mm-hmm. And so if you fail something that's directly affected by you, that makes you feel pretty shitty later on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing though that people in their 20s mess up on, I've talked about this before on the podcast, is we keep chasing money. And that's not good. Just chase skills. Skills will make. It's not to say don't think about money ever, because money is realistic. You need to pay your bills. Think about skills that provide value to people, that serve people in a certain capacity. The money will come automatically. Your job is just to get better at the skills, and that'll lead to more fulfillment because you'll have confidence in yourself. When you become somebody who is, renowned and has some money, you won't feel that imposter syndrome. Like, why the hell do I have this money? I don't feel like have skills. But if you have the skills, you're like, yeah, I have these things because I have accrued an amount of skills that have led me to this destination, which is good.
And you feel confident, you feel better about yourself. Yeah.
You feel confident, you feel better about yourself. Yeah. That's good, man. That's a good note to end the podcast on. How many minutes are we
that was
in?
like
38?
30 minutes.
Oh,
yeah. I was like, wait, what? End the podcast. You didn't even talk about your stuff, bro.
What do I think about when I lay down? I think about a lot of things, man. I think it's changed a lot in the last year. But I think about stand up a lot. I think about like doing bigger venues, obviously, God willing. Cricket, I do think about like playing professionally and internationally a lot. So those two things keep reoccurring in my vision. But I was watching this speech. It's the Khalifa of our community, His Holiness, and he said something. A lot of us, and I heard this, I was like, he's right, because we keep thinking that we're something special. but we're not. Nobody is special.
Yeah.
We're only special because God gave us the ability to do something. And when we make these goals, we're chasing glory. Like we're chasing, the naysayers. We're thinking about the naysayers. We're like, I am better. I'm gonna prove to this person that I'm better. At least I've been guilty of that. And it's like, when you do that, it's unnatural because you are nothing. God has given you the ability to do it. So if you forget God out of every single one of your goals, chances are you're not going to be fulfilled. So anything you're doing, think about like how it serves humanity and how it brings you closer to God. And he said, like, anything you do special, do never think it's because of you. It's because of God's grace. Like, you didn't do shit, basically. It's God. And every single little thing you do. And you said, if you do that, you have total humility. And it just makes your life so much more simpler. Because you don't have arrogance. You won't have attitudes. You're not going to feel like you're, you deserve something that you have been chasing. You're just gonna live the life that a human being should live, which is of humility, because you're basically a servant of God. That's all we are, basically. There's nothing special about us. Sure, we make the right decisions, but it's only through God's grace. Like, you have 2 legs and 2 arms and a face and a nose. Who's to say we'll have all these things 30 years from now? Like, why? How come there's people out there that have those things and people that don't? It's God, right? It's God. It's not us. So when I saw that speech by His Holiness, Mirza Masroor Ahmed, I was like, it just got to me because I was like, for a long time, and I think still that I have problems. Like, I'm just like chasing glory personally, and that's fine to chase that, but it's like, I got to think about the higher purpose. Because sure, like I can become a big comedian, God willing, and talk to like thousands of people in arenas, but it's like,
it's never what God's gonna be able to do.
But not just that. It's like, what am I doing that for? What's the bigger purpose? Like, a lot of comedians have done that. Richard Pryor did that. Eddie Murphy did that. Dave Chappelle's doing that. Andrew Schultz is doing that.
To people?
Yeah, thousands of people. They're making them laugh. But it's like, I should be more intentional about the comedy I do. Yeah, the goal is to make people laugh, but like, what's my bigger purpose? Yeah, I want to play cricket and do stuff with that, but like, what's the bigger purpose? Just find the bigger purpose and how it. Yeah, like how does it? I'm still trying to figure out the answers for myself.
Is
but
it
like,
preach?
No, it's not just preaching. It's like helping people, right? Like, so let's say if I'm playing cricket, if the purpose is, if a kid in his mid-20s decides that he really wanted something and he stopped, it's like, oh, if he sees me, he's like, he started at 23, maybe I can do this.
Right.
So that's helping a person, right? If like I'm like teaching kids who don't have access to cricket resources, that's helping. They see somebody that's like, you know what I'm saying? Just like using your skill to help the maximum amount of people.
I gotcha.
Because it's like
reciprocation?
It's like, reciprocity. I don't know if that's the right word. That's the whole goal. Like, God gave you something for a purpose, so spread it to the people. Doesn't mean to preach your faith necessarily. It could be that, but,
So you've been thinking about that more.
I've been in the last like couple weeks, literally like even like a week, because I thought this. I was just like, because in every single thing we do, we think of us and me and I. I did this. I have this podcast, or I, did this amazing job of making these people laugh. I got faster at pitching the ball. I caught the ball so the team could win.
But it's not about you, right?
It's not about you at all. It's just, you're the vehicle to achieve God's purpose for your life.
I think it's difficult to achieve success for a lot of people with that mind frame, though.
It's very hard, but I think long term, because it's harder, you'll be more fulfilled. And that's why, when you're dying, you'll be like, you know what? I try my best to do whatever it is that God gave me. Yeah. And,
it's hard to keep discipline, though, I think, with God in mind.
Very hard. It's impossible, because that's why, like, I feel like one of the things in Islam, like, you have to pray 5 times a day, because it's a constant reminder. And I feel that, like, when I skip some prayers, it's like, it gets in your head. You're just like, I don't need to. Why does God need me to pray 5 times a day? It's fine if I skip one. It's fine if I skip the night prayer or the morning prayer. Right. People think like that. So you need a constant reminder.
It's humans.
So going back to the question I
Yeah.
asked you, like laying down, I do think about these certain things, me in an arena or me in a cricket match,
Yeah.
possibly, a World Cup or the Olympics. And I'm like, okay, I'm doing all these things. That's fine. But it's like, you have these like moments. Oh, like you're the man. Like,
Yeah.
oh, yes, yes.
Right.
People are clapping you. But it's like, it's not really about that.
Right.
Because a lot of people have done those things. It's already been done. People have won World Cups. There's been professional cricketers. There's been professional comedians, actors, filmmakers.
Yeah.
It's already been done. The greatest film has already been made. But it's like,
The greatest film has already been made.
my point is, the greatest film has already been made for somebody, right?
Oh.
But you got it. So you're going to be different. You're going to be
Yeah.
different because you're going to make your own greatest film. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's the things, all of the things that we want to do, bro, have been done. It's just because there's only one Matt Julio Gutierrez, there's only one Ibrahim Sayed Ahmed in the world, that we're living life with our take on this thing that we want to do. And it's only been done once because we're one of a kind.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
We're one of a kind, so it's only
Yeah.
been done once. So the key is to not be like grappled by what other people have done, which is hard, right? Because you want to
Comparison is
compare, yeah, but it's like, no, it's just me, my journey, and God made me, gave me
Yeah.
this skill set, and let me maximize it to the best of my ability and leave the rest up to God. That's it.
Without comparison, though, bro, it's very difficult to grow.
But
To
just compare to
succeed.
yourself. I 100% agree. It's very hard, but just compare to yourself.
Yeah.
You're the best comparison.
No. Yeah. I'm not taking away that you shouldn't do it. I think we shouldn't compare, right? It's very, very difficult. Like I just think that there's a reason. Like Nietzsche talked about God, right? Nietzsche talked about how God is. I don't agree with this, but I get where he's coming from. He compares God to alcohol because alcohol makes you listen. Just listen to. I know it's crazy. It's madness. But if you look at philosophizes, he literally put up there, God and Captain Morgan. That's what that's what his title is.
Mhm.
And the theory behind it is, what does alcohol do? Alcohol makes you kind of forget your reality, right? It makes you forget your reality for a little bit, live in the moment, be happy, not be so sad about your true reality.
Mhm.
And when you think about God, his theory about that is, you pray to God, God tells you everything's gonna be okay as long as you believe in me. Because as long as you believe in me, the end of this journey is going to be okay for you, right? So instead of dealing with your actual issues in the moment, you're thinking about in the future. Does that make sense? So he's relating the two, that they both make you kind of be okay with the present, be okay with like your issues. I'm not saying I agree with that because I don't agree with that, but I get the logic behind it. There is logic behind it. What was my point in this? What were we talking about?
You brought up Nietzsche and
Yeah.
alcohol.
And alcohol, yeah.
Yeah, I think what your point was, God gives you this ability to feel more relaxed, I think.
Oh yeah,
right?
so that's exactly my point. So yeah, God gives you this ability to feel more relaxed, right?
Yeah.
Because it's true, he does, and I think that's why a lot of people out there, like they say in the Bible, I'm sure in the Quran, that the poor people, that the rich people aren't necessarily the ones that are going to go to heaven. It's typically the poor people that are going to be going to heaven, right?
100%.
And because, a big part of why is because their why is for God, is for the future. That's the only thing that they can control right now. Their belief in something bigger in the future, right? Rich people can control the now. They can control what they do, where they eat, where they travel, what they do with their time. They don't have to forego to some king and make him bread all damn day, or farm a land all damn day and live in the struggle. But they can believe in God, and they can believe, okay, I'm doing this now, but when I die, God will be there for me. And so a lot of times if you think like that, then you're just you're accepting of your present. Rather, the more strategic thing to do is understand that God is going to be there at the end, and you have to make good decisions now, but you still have a responsibility for yourself and for people that are to come.
It's a good point. There's remind me of something. The promised Messiah that we believe in is Ahmadis. There was this verse that God revealed to him. It said, "Alaysa lahu bikafin abda," which means, is God not sufficient for his servant? Is God not sufficient for his servant?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's true. It's like all you really need is God. Like as long as, and it's hard because every single day we see people with the glitz and glamour and glory and people getting awards and driving nice cars and
Right.
living in mansions and taking the most expensive and lavish vacations and eating the best types of foods, and it's like constant luxury, lavishness, and extravaganza, and we get lost in it completely, or we just forget about God. Like it's gone. Like we think about God like, oh, Merry Christmas, Merry Happy Eid. Or, you know, it's like
Eid and Christmas aren't even necessarily about God anymore. Dude.
yeah, it's a commercial.
Yeah,
it's a commercial basically to
give
sell more
money,
products.
and what do you do when you give money? You buy things. That's all it is.
Yeah, and that's the pitfalls of capitalism. I'm a capitalist. I think it's a beautiful system, but it's the crony capitalism in America is destroying faith, in my opinion, because everybody's chasing money.
Yeah.
We're all chasing money, and that's a good point you brought about the rich and the poor, because rich people are selfish. And the only way to become a billionaire, you have to be selfish. You have to take things away from people that they probably deserved and put that in your own pocket. Take the credit yourself. To a certain degree, you do have to do those unethical.
You have to do unethical things.
And it's like, for what? You can live a beautiful life off of $1 million, $10 million.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like a billion versus 10
You're never
million.
gonna be able to save people from the moon like Elon did.
But I mean,
Or
is
space
Elon really
station, yeah.
fulfilled? Like, would you rather have a transgender person as a daughter, or would you rather save people from the moon? I'm sorry, but I'd rather have people that are the gender they were ascribed at birth. I think that's more of a success. When I compare Elon to like a normal person, at least his kids.
No, I agree. I'm just trying to. Yeah.
No, I understand what you're
grapple
saying, but
that
I'm
idea,
saying
yeah.
that's the thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't. His kid hates him, or I don't even know what to call him or her, whatever it is. His kid hates him, and that's the sad thing for any father. He failed as a parent, as a father. He failed his child, bro.
By
The
not being
person, huh?
By not being there.
By not being there. That's a big failure. And
Of
your
course.
kid turns out to be like transgender. That's a mental illness that you should have addressed before.
It's very tough. Yeah, it's a very tough thing to grapple, man. But yeah, I think I've been saying it a lot more recently. I think like last year, like God willing, God bless. Because I think when people tell you good job or like wow, that the future's gonna be bright. If you say things like God willing or God bless, it's like you're not attributing it to yourself. I've always felt very uncomfortable when somebody tells me good job or you're doing great or you're going to be successful in the future. I just always felt very uncomfortable.
It's a good thing, yeah.
Since I've been saying like God willing or God bless, I feel like less pressure on myself.
Because you're leaving it up to God.
Yes.
If God wills it to be.
Exactly.
Exactly, man.
But if I'm like, oh yeah, thank you, or like, yeah, it's been great or whatever, it's like, even when I say thank you, it's like, shit, it's on me.
It's not on you. It's
Exactly.
on God. Yeah.
So when I've been saying like that, it's like feels a little bit more relaxed. Does that make sense?
Man.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah. Because God is the most supreme force in all the universe is God.
Yeah.
Who are we to say it's in my power? It's not in your power. It's in God's power. Your job is to do your best. That's it.
Yeah.
You do your best. Put everything in God. And if it was not meant to be, it will not be.
Yeah.
If it was meant to be, it will be. That's it. And that's it.
Everyone says like everything happens for a reason, right? But what is that force guiding it? It is God.
It's God. Yeah.
But I mean, nobody really like talks about it, I guess.
That's my biggest fear for Gen Z. It's just we're losing sight of faith. Because there's so much horrors, and because of social media, we can see all these horrors on our phones. We're just like, why would any just being do this? And we don't understand the complexities of how the world operates and stuff. But we blame God instead of, looking at things holistically. But yeah.
Yeah. So 30, where do you want to be?
30. Listen, I'm gonna say God willing. God willing, I'm doing like, I'm probably like headlining comedy clubs or maybe starting to do theaters by then, hopefully.
Okay.
20, 30, 5 years.
Dude, what theaters did you say?
Like just theaters.
Oh,
like
theaters.
starting to do theaters.
Like amphitheaters.
Small theaters, like maybe 500 people, 700 people. Yeah, that's the goal for stand
To
up.
me, that's a lot of people, bro.
That is a lot of people.
Yeah.
But again, like if God
That's
wills
awesome.
it to be, who am I to say anything? Hopefully I'll be a lawyer then as well. See, all these things that I mentioned, it's like it doesn't make sense. Whatever God wills it to be will happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be a professional cricketer. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see, man.
Are you
Those
gonna
are
be
the
married by
things.
then?
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely I'm
Are
definitely
you gonna be a
chasing.
professional cricketer by then?
Yeah. That'll happen sooner than I get married for sure, I think.
You think so,
in my
cricket?
opinion, yeah.
More than comedy. Quicker than comedy.
Yeah, because cricket is more, It's like power. You go to the gym for 1 year, you'll get stronger.
Yeah.
You do comedy for 1 year, you will not be funny. Doesn't mean
You'll be funnier.
Yeah, like
I think you can be.
you can be, but I will, if you were to put money on something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm against gambling, but if you had to predict, I'd put money that this guy who's never been to the gym is way stronger in terms of comparatively, if you compare strength to funny.
But is he a better athlete?
Can be, yeah. 1 year.
But you
No,
think-
it takes years. No,
Yeah.
1 year does not do anything. I'm just saying. But
Yeah.
comparatively to comedy, comedy is one of those things you got to put in years, bro. You got to put in at least 7 to 10 years to really see. I'm
insane,
serious.
bro,
7 to 10 years. You ask any professional comedian, all the big stars, they've been doing it for decades. It's just one of those things, man.
It's incredible, man.
I would love to be incredibly amazing and on stage in 2 or 3 years. I would love that. I'm not opposed to that. If God wills it to be, I would love that. I would take it in a heartbeat, but it's not realistic, which is fine.
The commonality behind everything that we want is concerted effort. That's what it is. We're all going to make mistakes. Like we just, before this podcast, we talked about, mistakes that we made in the last year. But it's all about making the mistakes and then getting more and more concerted in our efforts. And I think if you're able to be more concerted, you can be more successful faster. All this talk of 7 to 10 years, why do they say that? Do you know why they say that with everything?
Why?
It's because within the 7 to 10 years, you're making all these mistakes. It's because you're constantly not making changes in things that you knew you're fucking up on.
It's experience, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, if you're, not you, but people, if people are more self-aware and more okay with them making mistakes, they're able to admit it. And if you're able to admit it, you can make a change. And if you're able to make that change, you're able to see if other things work. And when other things work, that's when success happens faster.
Everything is easier said than done. Like,
Of course,
there's nothing we've said here is everything can go back. People have said all these things we're saying, but it's like, it matters what we do after this podcast.
It's human nature, bro.
Yeah, it's so easy. I hear people and myself, we all say these things and believe in these things and know the truth of these things, but we end up doing the opposite things because we're also very weak as humans.
I'm gonna tell you a very funny anecdote.
What's
So
the anecdote?
this happened like Sunday.
Mhm.
We're at my house. My dad wants to build this new it's like he wants to build like an enclosed patio type thing. So we're putting the structure up for it. It's basically just wood posts that we're putting up. My uncle Ricky. He goes, he's right. He's like, we can put this up in 30 minutes. Okay, yeah. In reality, yes, we can. If we do everything like an AI robot and everything's precise and even and everything's solid and we just follow the rules that we're supposed to follow in math, 100% we could put up in 30 minutes. But in reality, that will never happen. And I told him, I was like, yeah, dude, if I was a robot, I agree. We'd be able to do it, no problem. Because it ended up being 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, something like that it took us to do all this. Because in reality, we're human, bro. We fuck up on a measurement that we're supposed to take. We have to take the measurement 3 times to make sure that the cut we do on the wood makes sense. The pieces of wood, bro, are probably 500-600 pounds. It's not heavy. It's not light shit. We have to hold it up over our heads. We have to hold it at a precise measurement. So when we drill it into the other piece of wood, that it's even, it's straight. We're not perfect. Is my whole point. And if we were perfect, then our whole realities would be perfect, right? We would know that even though we're making the same mistake in comedy, let's not do it again next time. But something in our brain doesn't listen. There's something that says, if I keep doing this, it'll work this time. It'll work this time, right? But that's not reality. That's my point. It's something so easy. Like probably the most simple thing you can attribute this to is putting up wood. But it still happens to us. A 30-minute ends up taking 6 hours. That is just humans, bro. You take breaks. They were drinking a beer. I was drinking a Gatorade. You have to eat. You get tired. You got to stand in the shade.
Yeah, I guess in that practicality sense, it all comes down to how bad do you want it. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
How bad if you want something bad enough, it'll happen. And if it didn't happen and you did your best and it was not meant to be, and that's okay.
If you want it bad enough, you'll listen to the truth.
And the truth will guide you towards what needs to be done, which is God's hand helping you out.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you don't want it bad enough, you're just going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And then just ego's going to talk. That's it.
Yeah, then you're going to start blaming people like, oh.
Instead of blaming yourself, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, this person was kind of, playing politics. I hate it when people say, there's politics at work, there's politics here. These are just excuses.
There are politics.
There's definitely politics. People are politics. What is politics? It's
Yeah, it's
people.
Yeah.
As long as there's humans involved, there'll always
How do
be
you beat the
politics.
politics?
Become extraordinary. Become
Extraordinary?
so
Or play the
undeniably.
system?
No, it's become. In my opinion, the answer is become so undeniably amazing that even the politics is like, never mind. Like, yeah, we can't mess with this person. Like, yeah, this
Like
guy.
Trump?
Yeah, he became a force of power politically, and I guess it's a oxymoron, right? Because he became the politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a modern day politics, almost. It feels like.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to be remembered well though, legacy wise.
I don't think he'll be remembered.
He's a very
well either.
selfish man. Selfish
Yeah.
leaders never reflect well in history. Always the selfless leaders are the ones remembered positively.
Yeah.
Like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela,
Yeah, you're right.
George
Good
Washington,
point.
selfless people.
Yeah, good point.
Abraham Lincoln, selfless person, assassinated. JFK assassinated. Donald Trump, almost assassinated. If
Yeah.
that bullet would have hit him.
But JFK, you think he was selfish?
Selfless.
Oh, selfless. Sorry.
Always the selfless leaders.
Oh, and Trump's not selfless.
No, come on,
I'm
bro.
just kidding. Yeah, he's all about himself.
Yeah, it's not. He'll realize
People
that when
know.
he's.
People know the truth, even if you don't want to admit it. Even the people that like him, they see selfishness.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's the part that confuses me. The people in his administration, I don't know if you've seen, they've started to embody Trump. So they say,
Yeah.
nobody thought I could do this. Nobody thought we could do this,
Right.
but we did it. And it's like, because nobody has the balls. What are you
Yeah.
going to say to Donald Trump? Oh, president messed up. Sorry.
Yeah.
My boy's going to fire you, which
Yeah.
is fine. I mean, you know.
You notice something real quick before we wrap this up? Like, you always say it's in the eyes, right? Like when we do our skits or whatever, you have to get the eyes. What I've noticed is, have you ever looked at a dog?
In his eyes?
Yeah.
No.
When you look at a dog or or like cats maybe, but dog, they'll look away. Animals don't like that direct eye contact.
yeah.
Only when they're very vulnerable, they'll make that eye contact. Babies, for whatever reason,
They love eye contact.
they don't.
They don't.
They won't even, when you take a
Oh, because
picture,
you do. Yeah. They
when you
won't.
take pictures of babies, they're never looking at the
The
camera.
because they're shy. Yeah.
It's interesting, dude, because they're vulnerable. It's
Yeah.
an interesting thing, dude. But my point is, the eyes tell everything, dude. Like when you look into somebody's eyes, whether your brain is overthinking things, you know if somebody's truthful, whether they're lying, you know what kind of person they are. Maybe you don't know the exact words they're saying are truth or a lie, but you know what kind of person this is, right? The eyes tell a lot, dude. And when you look at Trump, you can just see the selfishness. You don't have to even hear him
The
talk.
arrogance, yeah. It's
Look
in the
at
eyes.
his 47th president not mugshot portrait. You can see in his eyes what kind of guy this is.
Yeah.
Right? Whoever it is, if you look in their eyes, you can kind of see who the person they are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's
He's our
crazy.
president, but yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. The eyes tell everything.
All right, man.
All right.
Until next time.
All right, wrap it up.
Oh, 100th episode. This was
Oh,
the 100th
yeah.
episode.
100th.
100th episode of the Gen Z Speaks podcast. It's huge.
Yes, sir. It's big, bro.
100 episodes.
We're in like top 1% of podcasters right now. How insane is that?
By views or content?
Content? But
By
episode
episode,
number, yeah.
wow.
Just podcast, not.
Just the amount of
Yeah.
podcasts we've done.
We're in 1%.
100 podcast episodes.
It's pretty amazing, bro. It's something to be proud of.
Yeah, something definitely. I agree.
It's not easy, bro. 100 episodes more because we haven't aired some episodes of us sitting damn on the couch talking to people, bro. It's not easy.
God willed it to be,
Yeah.
man. If
In
God
a
wills
year.
it to be, we'll do 1,000,
Yeah.
10,000, 20,000.
It'll happen.
Not 20,000 episodes.
I don't know. Joe Rogan's been doing it for 12 years, for a week. and he's at
2,400.
2,400.
Yeah. So yeah, 20,000.
It's crazy.
Why would I even want to have 20,000 episodes?
It's a lot of people to talk to.
Yeah.
God.
If you do
Dang.
10,000 episodes, that means you've been doing it like for over 10,000 hours.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, he's doing 4 a week for 12 years or 15 years.
He did 4 podcasts a week?
He does like 4 a week right now. I don't know when he started that, but when I started watching him in 2019, he was doing 4 a week still.
4 a
Yes.
week? Why though? Because
Because
he has so much other stuff to do. It's not like he doesn't have anything else to do.
he has a lot of things to do.
Archery, which I don't
He
understand
was talking
why.
to, I think, Cameron Haynes about just his day to day. I don't want to talk about Joe Rogan like that.
Yeah.
But
Hey
for-
Joe, we did it. 100 episodes.
yeah, exactly. 2,400. But 4 a week for 15 years.
Yeah, that's very consistent.
4 divided by 50. That's a lot, dude.
He's done over 10,000 hours for sure. He's done
Way
probably
more.
20,000 hours of podcasting.
Way more, yeah.
Around 20,000 hours of podcasting. 15 to
Hey,
20.
Russ, do 4 times 52. Let's just do the math. I want to know now.
4 times 52. Okay.
Times 3.
But did he do 4 every single year?
Let's just do times 2 hours. 2 hours a pod. What's that? 624. Wait, so 4 times 52
It's 624.
times 2? So you did 4 times 52 already, right?
That's
Multiply
not
that by
654 though.
Hold on. Multiply that by 2. And then multiply that by 15. 6,000 hours? So it's 6,000 hours in.
But if you just do the math, 2,400 episodes.
Yeah. Times 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's about 5,000.
I think he's done about
yeah.
10,000 hours though, because some of them are 3 hours, 4 hours.
Yeah.
He's done 10,000 podcasting
Yeah.
hours, which is probably the most, right? He has the most amount of podcasts ever.
Oh, yeah, he has the most pods ever.
Ever.
Because he started podcasting. He started this game.
2,400 episodes. 100.
You know, I don't know if he has the most pods ever. I don't know that.
He's up there.
He's up there, yeah.
Definitely top 100.
Because his are just with people. There's other people that
Just
do
do
like
2 minutes, 5
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
or they do stories of things.
Yeah. Yeah, 100 episodes
ones.
with over I think we've done like 40 guests, 50,
Probably about half, yeah.
45 guests, 40 guests.
Yeah, 40, 45, yeah. About 40%.
Damn, that's like
That's pretty solid.
yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, until 200 episodes.
Alrighty. See you there.